Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared with my lovely wife, Kara.
Bang! I'm Kara with my lovely husband, Jared.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neeves Knives. How's everybody doing tonight? We do have a bunch of topics to talk about, including the button lock failing epidemic that seems to be happening across the world.
That's a pandemic then.
Yes it is. And a bunch of other things. We have a really cool story at 9 o'clock. I'm going to talk about the first time I intimidated a witness, and then that should be a fun topic.
Is that why you were asking me what that was called?
Yeah,
before?
I couldn't remember the word. Just the first
Intimidating
part.
a witness.
Just that first part. Yeah. Anyways, what's up, Kyle, Ian, Stinky, Aaron?
Oh, I haven't seen Kyle's logo.
What?
I haven't seen Kyle. Well, I've seen it, but not like on his thing like that, like Kyle's logo.
What's up, Derek? So we are going to talk about some sharpening and edges and stuff like that here in just a minute. But first, we're going to talk about this button lock thing. So I did make my apologies, but it's probably a lot more apologies that are deserved because I obviously didn't check a lot of button locks. And I used to do it all the time. And it just didn't seem like that much of them ever failed. So, I guess I haven't really done any spine rack tests in, a good while. And it seems a lot of knives have slipped through the cracks that will fail under pressure. So a few of mine that I've tested that you guys can test.
I'm sorry, Aaron said what I missed. I was watching the ads. That's so nice.
Oh man, Aaron, you're awesome, man. Thank you for doing that. And
I never considered
all
that.
The assassin in the house with the 20 bones. Thank you, man.
It's a sticker
coming out hot. I love it.
Maybe we shouldn't say anything important for the first minute of a live because
I just said what we were gonna talk about today.
No, I know, but maybe we should just wait on that even.
And just
so
sit
the
here?
people that watch the ads don't miss out.
We say hi and everything.
Well, and I want to see what his sticker was. It's important. You're going to
go
hear
ahead.
volume for a second. You're going to be like, baby. And I'm going to be
Damn
like, sorry.
Damn it.
It won't let me pre-turn it down.
I can't tell who I suspect of dyeing their hair more, Jared or Kara. I've never put dye in my hair, ever. Not even a little bit.
Thank you for the dancing avocado. This is not dye, by the way. Not dye. It's not. It's not dye.
What do you call it?
It's just stripping the color out of your hair. This is what my hair would look like.
Blonde.
No, I mean
stripped.
If you erase pigment.
But this is your natural hair.
The rest of it is all my natural. I've only ever done this one time too. I've never no, that's a lie. Twice I did it.
So okay, so some of the knives that have failed that I've tested are one, I tested a bunch of my beg lighters. 3 of them did or was it 2 or 3? 3 of them I think did just fine. This one did good. Now the thing is though, is that the ones that did good are the ones that have a little bit of lock stick.
The ones I hate.
I don't mind it.
I hate when a button goes.
I don't mind a little bit. Like this one's very subtle. You barely even. I like it. The reason why I like it is one.
Because you know it's strong now.
No, well, because I know then it doesn't have blade rock.
So you know it's strong.
Well, it doesn't have blade rock doesn't mean it's strong, but it just means that it doesn't have wiggle. Anyways, but now it's looking like that the ones that have a hint of lock stick are the ones that don't fail, at least so far. However, my XL failed very easily, but I will say that this one kind of always had some issues. The detent is extremely weak on this one. I have another one. I don't have it in here. I haven't tested it, but I will. That one will probably pass, but we'll see.
Bori, you just missed out on that.
What?
The gravity knives? Didn't we just?
No. White Mountain Knives has them right now. Yesterday. Listen, I didn't make a post on it. This is the reason why I'm not making. No, they're still available right now in fat carbon fiber. So they're a little bit more money, but not much. They're $310. $310. But the reason why
didn't GP Knives have them like a week ago too?
Yeah, and we posted on that. Yeah. But the reason why I didn't post, and this is just me being honest, guys, is because I'm not affiliated with them. Yes, I have a discount code for you guys, so use the discount code all you guys want, but I don't make anything off of that. So it's like there's no incentive. And if I always link and do that stuff, they'll never work with me. So any companies like that I link that I'm not affiliated
It's
with,
free advertising.
I'm literally doing like what they want me to do, the reason why they would give me an affiliate. So I just, but I'm letting you guys know like that they are available. White Mountain Knives has a bunch of them available.
We still always put
They
the
have-
White Mountain Knives discount code
I
in
saw
every
the discount code
in
down
every
there.
description. We don't like
Yeah.
hide it or anything.
Yeah. But they have the red fat carbon fiber, the red, white, and blue fat carbon fiber, and then they have this kind of carbon fiber with the copper. If it'll focus, there we go. So they have a bunch of different versions, spear points and tantos. So go check them out. But the other knife that failed on me, one of my originals is failing. This one's doing fine, but my gray one is failing.
Your original what?
Kaiser original.
Oh, the name original. I thought you meant like your original knife.
No, my Kaiser original. And then I already apologized in the video about the mini Towser K, which sucks because, man, I really like this one. I like them all. But man, I really had high hopes.
Can I say my gripe with this now, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first, let me ask you a simple question, but don't answer it the way you think I'm going with it. Just answer it for real, please.
Okay.
Be honest with your answer.
Yeah.
If a knife fails from a spine whack test, excuse me, what kind of, let's just say, typical EDC work that somebody would do for real would be comparable to that type of pressure on a knife?
So, like, say if I was going to cut a cord or like a rope or something, and I would put the blade on the thing I'm going to cut, and I would smack the back of the spine to cut it. So that's one thing. Or like, say,
who cuts a rope like that?
A lot of people cut cords.
Why don't you just pull
like that.
it?
No, there's metal cords. Sometimes there's metal in the middle. Like there's like a copper line in the middle.
I've just always pulled those, but it takes a lot.
That's if you're gonna pull it. That's if you're gonna pull it.
Okay.
I'm talking about if you're just cutting it.
But there is an alternative to that.
What?
Just swacking it.
Yeah, wire clippers.
Okay.
But what I'm saying though is that when you're on a job though, that's you do weird shit like that all the fucking time. Okay. So another thing would be like, say if I was notching out a piece of wood, right? Like say, just for an example, like if I had a piece of 1x, right, and I had to slip a piece of 1x together, I might need to notch it out. So say if I already used the chisel or the saw and I already cut it out, but now there's a little tiny piece left from where the saw blade didn't cut through, I might take my blade and put it down there and then take my hammer and just go tap, tap, tap. Really quick, just to knock out that little piece of wood. So
and do you think the pressure of tapping would be comparable to a spine whack test?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was very easy,
but
right?
aren't you tapping it the other way? Like if you have pressure on the other end of the blade when you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm holding it like this and I'm hitting it.
Right.
Like
when you're spine whacking, there's no pressure on the other end of the edge. I understand. I'm saying, but look, let me show you what I mean. If you are putting it on wood, there's something under it.
Yeah,
and you're tapping it. So that's not going to do the same thing as a spine whack.
Well, yeah, but the point is that that's when it would fail.
Okay, so my gripe with it is I understand.
Now you want me to give you another example?
I understand the type of examples you're giving. I'm just going to say, for me, it's irrelevant. That's all I'm saying. For me, it's completely irrelevant. Agreed. I'm just not going to be dumb and use a button lock.
You should use slip joints.
You should have a variety of knives.
You should just have slip joints.
Sure, whatever you think, or a triad lock or something. My point, though, is that I think that sometimes everybody wants every knife to do everything, and I think that's you don't want a jack of all trades, master of none. I'd rather have 5 different masters, right? That all can do everything.
Trades mindset.
I'm not saying you can't have a jack of all trades, but the full saying of jack of all trades is jack of all trades, master of none. So my point is that I think it's fine to be like upset about it or whatever, but for me, it's just complete. Like, it doesn't upset me one bit that a button lock fails a spine whack test. I've never thought button locks are probably the strongest locks out there. So the type of work that I
agree, and I've always
said irrelevant to what you would do to put that type of pressure on it.
I've always said that button locks, don't consider them a hard use lock. Now there are some out there that are really good, like my Freeman. I guarantee that fucker's not gonna fail if I spine whack here, but it has everything, and I'll try it, but it has everything to do with the lock face geometry and the plunge grind, right? So when the plunger, just like a lot of other locks too, like say a frame lock, Frame locks can fail very easily too if
Yeah.
the lock face geometry is poor. I guarantee if you spine whacked half of your frame locks, half of them would fail and half of them would do good. Like, and same thing with these button locks. It has to do with the lock face geometry. That's what it has to do with everything. And it's the angle of the lock versus the angle of whatever the lock is. Like, say if it's a plunge lock, like a button lock, it's like a disc that goes into this angle thing. So if it's more straight, it's not gonna fail. But if it's at an angle, it has a good chance of slipping. Same
Look
thing
up
with a
the
frame.
whole quote before saying it. Isn't the last part of the quote something like
Jack of all trades,
master of none, but sometimes better than
a master of one.
none.
Master of none, yeah, something like that.
So okay, but that's the same point I'm making. Like, obviously, it's better than
we get the same. Why are we spine
the part
whacking?
that matters.
So I don't want you guys to spine whack EDC knives. I'm spine whacking them so you guys don't have to.
You just said it down there, the full
But
thing.
the reason why I do it is just to reassure that the lock is strong. And here's another example, right? If I'm bearing down with my thumb, right? If there's right now, there's no way I'm going to bear down on this right now, right?
Hard enough to
fail because I know I could. That's the point.
Oh, you could.
Yes,
Okay.
I absolutely
No, that's a
could.
problem. I would agree. It's that bad.
And right. So if I'm sitting there cutting something that's nice and hard, like say a piece of wood, and I'm shaving it down, and then it fails, right? And it fails, and I come off, this blade's gonna come down on my
But
fingers.
again, if you were putting pressure down on the blade, wouldn't that put anti-pressure back to where it wouldn't fail?
No, I'm saying if I'm pushing like shaving wood, right? You come off of the wood.
Okay.
There's a time when you're not, and then like, what if it pops
for sure,
and it just breaks the piece of wood off?
Like I'm gonna go back to my original thing though. I feel like it's always been known that button locks were kind of light duty, so I wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff with
I agree.
I think it's a relevant thing to know still.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the information shouldn't be out there, but getting up in arms about it is a little.
I don't think we need to get open arms about it because I do think that there might be a possible fix. That's one thing.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about that. But besides that,
I
think it's good that the companies know this.
Oh,
so that
did you miss a ding? I'm sorry.
So that they can address if it's an issue from the factory, so that we don't get like, if they put it this way, if they started testing them from the factory, they're obviously not, and if they did, then they would not put those ones out there, right?
Keep going. Go all the way back. Formula One, did you send something through? Because I see all your dings, but I don't see a thingy. I'll look on my phone.
No, the only one was Bald Assassin.
I see Dennis, member for 6 months. Do we have a Bang Gang Live tomorrow? Nope, we do not.
No, Bang Gang Live is next weekend. Does the Cormorant fail? I think I have it right here.
I'm so confused.
Hang on.
I got Bald Assassin.
I have a couple Cormorants, but
he did his members one, sweetheart. He did his members one.
That was the titanium one. What?
He did his members one. That's why you didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Formula One has been a rock stud. Boink. For 3 months, man. That's awesome, man. Thank you for all the
We're
support.
going to be switching this program to a different one, so hopefully that one will actually show your guys' member comments. For now, I'll leave my phone open. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, shout out to all the Bang Gang members. Thank you guys for all the support. Okay, so Aaron, I did hear that other people's Thunderbirds, I haven't tested mine. Mine's in the box and put up right now. I don't have it right here available, but I did hear that those were failing pretty easily too. Does the Chevalier fail? That's one I can test.
The Chevalier?
Oh, yeah, I got one right here. What else can I grab on right here?
Grab the, have you done the Medford Smooth Criminal? Have you tried that one?
It's right here.
Why do you have my Medford? You stole it?
No.
Why is it over here? It's supposed to be at my desk.
I had to borrow it.
That's one of my desk knives.
All right. Starting with the Medford.
Okay. Uh-oh. I'm kind of nervy.
I'm doing it on wood.
Solid pass.
Solid pass.
USA.
The
Can I have it so you don't steal it again?
The Civivi Conspirator.
He's hitting it really hard too. That's pretty steady.
The Chevalier.
I feel like it's gonna fail. No?
Solid. So
That noise is really like.
and I know the button lock elementums are solid. I've actually spine whacked the shit out of the button lock elementums. Talking about the big ones though, not the small ones.
What do you have right now? What is that?
I forget the name of it.
Civivi something.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I see that one that you failed the Towser? I want to see if I can fail it.
Oh, you can.
It's that bad?
Yeah.
Could I just push it?
But keep your fingers out of the path though.
You think I'm just gonna put my fingers in the path?
I'm just saying, just make sure you're not. Because I watched other people spine whacking and doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's easy, right?
I just did one little baby tap. One little baby tap. Oh wow!
I don't think so the Wii
No,
mouse.
this is a problem. Even for
Yes.
like
That's what I'm saying. Your thumb
Yeah.
can break it.
No,
So
this is a
the
problem.
Wii Malice, I've tested that one. That one's fine.
You know what's weird is it clinks back into
I tested
place.
that one for the review or for the video I did.
There's like a point where you can like tink it, but it like goes and goes back.
That's what I mean. In many cases, I do spine whack test a lot of the knives, but I just haven't lately, except for like, some like here and there. And obviously a bunch slipped through the cracks of the ones that I wasn't testing. But now you can be damn straight. I will be testing them all because this is a problem. So many have come out this year. And, and I do agree to some extent that their button locks are not really meant to be super tough. But, however, they are a lock. In that case, don't call them a locking knife. If they're able to fail that easily, you shouldn't be able to call them a locking knife, right? So I think that they should address it as much as possible. And what they could do, let's talk about the fixing. So this is how I think we could fix it. And this...
Just before you say that, Sid's asking if you've opened it up to see if it's visible.
What?
I don't know. Like the insides, I'm guessing. I don't know. What would you be able to see?
So you can look and see the lock face geometry, but what you could do, this is just one thing you could do, is if the texture of the lock face geometry is slick, is very smooth, you could take 300 grit sandpaper and just scuff it. Like, just put a little bit of texture. You're not trying to take anything off. You're just trying to scuff it up. Then take your spring and stretch it a little bit, and that most likely would stop it. Because
the failure?
Yeah, because the ramp wouldn't be slick. So, but I'm not telling you guys to do that, but that's probably what I would.
And if you do it, it's no guarantee.
Yeah, no. I'm just guessing right now.
It's allegedly gonna work.
I have tested that theory on frame locks, so that's why I'm saying that, because I've done that on frame locks and it did work. Impact resistant pressure.
Just checking.
Impact resistant, pressure resistant is different in my opinion, though. And some of the button locks failing on wax aren't failing with pressure. Well, I guarantee this one can fail with pressure.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Whoever said that, you articulated
I don't want
to
put my thumb because I had to put my finger in the way. I probably can't do it with my pointer, but I can definitely do it with my thumb.
No, this
if you've
one
seen
is bad.
I mean, even I bet you if it doesn't take much at all. Like, this is very, very light.
Especially the further you go towards the tip. Because of the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go towards the
or
tip,
the leverage,
it won't take nothing.
Yeah, towards the tip. Like, I barely tapped it on the table.
Back here is where it can handle a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's just the point. Like, and yeah, I agree. Most likely, it's not going to fail on you, but it's just something you should know, right? You should know this. So, and this is something that's supposed to be my job. I'm supposed to tell you guys this. Thank you, Alpha Male. I appreciate that.
But yeah, that was the kind of the point that I was making, though, is like, if there's pressure on the other end, does it also still have the capability of failing? Like, where you hear it crack like that.
Wanting to make the move into hand sharpening, what would you guys recommend to get? Okay,
the first thing you want to get is a t-shirt that I'm going to eventually make that says, "Do you even freehand, bro?" That's the first thing you need to be a freehand sharpener.
She's right about that, actually.
It's a fact.
Yeah. Not just because she's pretty.
And then you have shut the fuck up. And then you have to go to every stranger you encounter, you have to let them know that you freehand sharpen, even if it's totally irrelevant to the conversation.
Exactly.
It's the first two things.
So you want to get so I personally, what I would recommend is getting diamond plates. And I say diamond plates because diamond plates will sharpen anything. So if you go with aluminum oxide or natural stones, that's fine, but you're not going to be able to do the high wear resistant, high carbide steels. So in order to be able to do all of the steels, I recommend getting diamond plates that way because, and also personally, this is a personal thing. I really like the way diamonds sharpen. Like I love the way the edges come out better. Now, if you're just getting started, you're not going to want to probably get Neeves or anything, but get maybe some ultra sharp 3x8s. Though you can get the 3 stones for $138, or you can go with the 2x6s, which are smaller, for $50. 3 plates for $52 or something. The 3x8s are the ones I recommend because they are bigger, they'll last longer, all that stuff. And then you need a stone holder. So get a stone holder, 3 plates, or even just 2 diamond plates would be good too.
I agree with Shane. You absolutely want to spine whack your fixed blades. He's so right. You can't be too safe, you know? Do you spine whack your fixed blades?
I do.
Regularly, right?
Regularly.
Every time before you use them.
Just
He's had a few
sure.
fail, so we got rid of those. They were full tang too, so I don't know how that happened.
Edgy American. Kara's just as pretty in
Aw,
person. No
thanks.
filters needed. Damn straight. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 5 bones. 40 likes to 100. Please hit that
bad
damn like
ratio.
button. I appreciate it if you guys would hit that like button. It definitely helps us out in the algorithm. So thank you to those that do. So are you going to spine whacking all knives, locks from now on? So I used to. Okay, so I used to do it with all of them. And you know, most of them succeed. Some did fail, but that's why I used to do it. And I guess I just haven't lately. So yeah, I probably will. At least a little bit. Like not like serious, like crazy fucking smacks, but to check it to the extent of which I think is a safe knife. Like this, the one I wouldn't consider a safe knife right now.
The Towser?
Yeah.
Do you think the other Tousers like that?
No, I don't.
Wait, that's not the other Towser I was talking about.
I
meant the other Towser, like the other model.
This one?
The one that looks like Butters, yeah. It's not a button lock though, is it? Or is it?
No, it's a liner.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But still, liner locks fail.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell by looking at a liner's lock up just with your eyeballs if it's going to be on the verge of failure or not. Just, I mean, depending on how it comes.
You've had a Rat 1 fail on you? That's crazy.
Well, Rat 1s, their lock bars.
Rat 1s usually have very strong lockup and are usually very solid. I've watched them baton. I've watched them get spine whacked to the point to where the lock bends and it still doesn't fail.
But if the lock bar was like 100%ed from being used for a long time, or if you got one that was super early,
they show up 50% normally from the factory brand new.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying you could get a QA issue. Like we had that with our Ace Biblio. It came like 1% lockup.
Yeah, if you get a QC issue. Dennis, thank you, brother. Your last $2.
Oh.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the 2 crackers, man. You're awesome. Yeah, Dennis is such a good dude. Shane, you gorgeous fuck. Notice me, he said. I had QSP Penguin liner lock completely fail with hardly any effort. Yeah, you definitely want to, you know, I wouldn't say take all your knives and as soon as you get them, spine whack them. And the reason why is because in some cases, like I've definitely had this more than once, like multiple times, where the knife failed on me for spine whacking right when I took it out of the box, but a week later would not fail. But it's just because the lock bar is breaking in. Yeah. So sometimes you do want to give it a little bit of time to
after
break
being
in.
used, like the pressure.
Right. It breaks itself in underneath the
Somebody asked if it was only the mini Towser. No, it's the bigger one that's failing.
This is the mini. Yeah, this is the mini.
Oh, the mini. Well, okay, hold on. There's the Towser S, the Towser K. That's the Towser S, correct?
This is the Towser S.
Okay, so the Towser K
is it S or M?
S.
Yeah, S, yeah.
So the Towser
These are
K.
both Towser Ks. This is Towser K Mini.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah, Towser K Mini. Had a Kaiser October fail.
But is the big one
but
doing
after
it?
20 or so uses, it was solid. Right, exactly. What?
But is the big Towser doing it too, or no?
No, no, I
Okay.
said they're fine.
Okay. I got confused. There's so many Tousers.
Damn it, Jared! Now I gotta spend all Sunday morning tomorrow.
Don't
spine
spend all
whacking.
morning whacking. That's all right. That's the Lord's day.
I'm
Don't
gonna
do
try
that.
to test as many of them as possible. I don't think you guys should though, because I don't think you know.
I just don't think it's relevant.
One, as long as I mean, if you tap the spine lightly and it doesn't fail, it's fine.
Right.
But don't go spine whacking the shit and ruining your lock faces and everything over this.
Do you like a Kara level spine whack? If you pass the Kara level tap, then I would like my amount of strength, and you're probably okay to do EDC stuff with it, I'm sure.
But you know, especially a lot of the locks, like crossbar locks, they're not going to fail from the spine wax. At least majority of them won't. Triad locks are not going to. Back locks usually won't. Compression locks usually won't. A lot of locks won't. The ones that are susceptible to it are frame locks usually, some liner locks, and then button locks. Now, just like though, other locks, like there's some frame locks that are really good, and there's some liner locks that are really good. It depends on the lock face geometry. Rich Armstrong with the 2 bones. Has Kaiser reached out to you about this? No, I only did that video, and then I did that today. So no, I have not talked to them about this yet. What's up? You were going to say something. I cut you off.
No, I think I just inserted a random in there, and I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, I don't remember. Oh, yes, I remember. Just to put a bow on it, I think knife companies should start, like, you know how we get all the specs, just like typically on the website, like all the little bullshit on the side, length, weight, all that shit. Do you know what specs are? You look lost.
Yeah, specs.
Okay, you just were like staring at the desk.
Because
you were reading.
This is surprising to me. This is a crossbar lock.
Okay,
so
we'll check that in a sec. Listen though, you know how we have all the specs on the side. I almost think it would be smart if companies left a spec for intended use. Do you know what I mean? You got something in your ear.
For intended use?
For intended use, yeah. Because otherwise, because if a company advertises and says, this is a medium duty knife, right? And then defines what light, medium, and heavy duty means, and then puts out intended use as a spec, right? Then there's less people going, wham, 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 this knife sucks, even though it's like a little fucking pen knife. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it would prevent a lot of weird knife trauma if that was a thing. Intended use. They should. Every other product has intended use. You don't buy a drill and then start hammering with it and being like, this is a shitty drill. You know what I mean? They advertise it as something to screw in shit. You know,
Ian, it depends on what type of machete work you're trying to do. I most likely would recommend something like, and this isn't technically a machete, it's a big fixed blade though, would be like the SE6. But there are some other ones that are even bigger. What is it called? The Jungla. That's another one. Dennis, fuck it. I'll take credit. How's the pyrite doing? I get mine. I haven't tested the pyrite. Other people said theirs was fine. Like I said, I have a lot more to test. Like, I'm surprised. Dude saying his drop bear failed.
maybe where is ours?
Take your. I have put up. I can't get it out.
Okay.
So I would take and put your stronger springs in maybe and see if that helps, because those should not fail, because those are straight. Like the back is supposed to go straight. So when it's spine wax, it's going right into the bar. So usually it's not supposed to be able to slip because it's straight. It's not at an angle. So what that means is most likely your lock face is slightly at an angle.
Rolls Shambo said we can't even get knife companies to agree to post HRC ratings appropriately.
Brian has a question for you.
Wait, Kara, you don't drill a drill bit into a tree, then stand on it to test its lateral strength once intended use anyway.
I've not touched the springs at all. My raccoon, full-size Towser K, button lock, both failed. My Altus Conspirator and Mortex did not fail.
I thought he meant he had a raccoon for a sec.
You got excited there for a second.
I did. My Towser K failed just now. I have to Yes,
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like I said, it
and
sounds
yes,
like
I only
it's-
gave it a carrot tap. Well, then I agree that that's a problem.
It sounds like
If
it's
it
a
doesn't
problem
pass
across
if
board.
it fails the carrot tap, then yeah.
I
feel like Jared could make most knives fail if he wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't. I don't do them to intentionally make them fail. I do it to check and make sure that they're going to fail under.
But I don't think sometimes you know your own strength a little bit.
I think
I still like
when I look at this lock face though, the lock face is polished. Like I said, so
Slippery.
I bet you it's slippery. I bet you if every single one of us right now took 300 grit sandpaper and just roughed it up a little bit, I bet you it would change a lot of them.
I still think that it's a problem to sell a knife like that because
for sure.
I do think that you could if you could push it down with your thumb, which obviously, like he said, you don't want to do because your fingers would have to be in the way to test that. But if you could do that, that's where it would be a problem. But if it is a problem and you know it's a problem and you already have the knife, either sell it or just use it and you know it's just a knife you're gonna open boxes with or something.
Keep talking to them.
Hi, my name's Kara. I don't know what to say now because I was unprepared to keep talking. What are you doing?
I'm looking for something.
Okay. I can't see the oh yeah, I can see the comments here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm choking. I don't know what to say.
Read the
this
comments.
Is making me want to buy a Towser just to make it fail.
It's actually funny.
Yeah, the only other knife I ever had where I was like angry about the level of terrible failure that it came with was that Ace Biblio. And the only reason why, because it wasn't like, I'm sure it absolutely failed Kara tap level spine whack, but it also failed its lockup just on opening. So like if I went like this with it, it didn't click into place. You know what I mean? It would just still fail back. So that was my worst.
John Evans is selling his knives and getting into pens. Robert Douglas, thank you for the 2 bones. Don't forget, guys, we're going to be talking about sharpening here in about 2 minutes. So we're going to get rid of the button lock talk, and we are going to get to polished edges and hair whittling talk.
Wow, that's a cool name, Ian De Vera. It's better than the other. No. Oh, wow. There's a lot of Ians in here.
Yeah.
Ian Penswick, Ian De Vera, and Ian Cotes. Is that how you say it?
Cotes?
I always read it in my head Cotes. So if I'm wrong, I'm just making your name have a little flair to it. So when can we see Kara's knives? That's what the Ian number 2, we'll call you Ian number 2, wants to see.
So show him some.
Okay.
You got a couple right here.
This is one. What is this one called? The pup?
Yep.
I always forget. It's like one of my favorite knives ever, and
it's the slim.
The slim, the bird.
Yeah,
I just know it's
slim.
I never knew the name. I just knew it was a bird.
They have a pup.
They have a pup.
This is the bird blade slim.
But I think isn't the pup the one that I love?
No, it was the slim.
It was the slim. Okay, I can't remember. It looks like
pup,
this.
The pup. No, it doesn't. The pup is
no, I'm saying the one I like. I knew looked like this.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I like this one a lot. I didn't know they made them like this. I saw that they had tons of them on Blade HQ. They probably still do, which is cool because otherwise I've always had a hard time. I always wanted the one with no coating, titanium bolster, and micarta scales. That was the one I always liked. And I got this bad boy right here. What is this one? I know it's the Gavco, but what's the name? Hyphen?
Yeah, somebody just said it in the chat.
Why? That's weird.
Doesn't matter.
Why?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, because my scratchy one that what you know. You know what? We're just not gonna
go ahead and keep talking.
I'm not ungrateful. Anyway, this hyphen, and then you guys already saw this one, the Medford Smooth Criminal. I got this one at a Blade Show. I think Shane and I both got one at Blade Show, but his was the green one. And low-key, I wanted that green one, but they didn't have it. They just had this one, so I just bought it on the spot. Just because I wanted to buy something. And it's not often that I can find a Medford that I like that's my size. So
that sucks.
What?
Because those things should literally hammer through tables. You
should get one of the Hawk ones.
I've taken budget OTFs and literally hammered them into wood. So that's send that in. Let them fix. They'll fix that.
Please read Neil's comment. The long one.
Jared, when I was in San Quentin, I had one of my most extravagant shank fails. So embarrassing. Immediately brought back to the manufacturer Tyrone from cell block 6 and demanded a refund. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. right away. Right away.
I'll be right back. I'll go grab a couple more.
Especially if it was made out of plexiglass, those things should hold up. They shouldn't be snapping off so easily. Now, if they were plastic from plastic trays, now that'd be a different story. You know, then you should expect it. And if it's steel, you know, it must be very soft. Wait, it failed always, but I got it to 85%. Thanks, Jared. Okay, so just so you guys know, I'm just showing them something.
Okay.
I did get the cold steel bench top knife sharpener that you guys keep asking me to test out and review. So review coming soon on that one. It looks promising. It really does, but we will see. It does look like it's pretty good. Kevin Stewart with the 5 bones. What do you guys think of CRKT with the
Are you talking about the deadbolt lock?
The deadbolt lock, yeah. So
that's stronger than a regular button lock.
Oh, that's a very strong lock. That's a very, very strong lock. I think it holds like 220.
It doesn't work like a button lock, though.
Yeah, it does.
I thought it was stronger.
It is, but it's still.
I mean,
it's a button and you push it.
I meant the innards, not the.
Okay, well, it still works the same way as a button lock. You push a button and it closes.
That's not what I meant. I meant the inside. Doesn't
okay,
work
so
the same.
I understand. That's why it's the deadbolt. So you're okay. You're pretty. All right. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, no, it's a very strong locking system, and I do like that. I just wish they didn't throw that lock on a knife with crap steel and then sell it for high prices.
I just don't like CRKTs. I've never never had a good experience with one.
Their deadlocks are good knives. They really are.
They're good locks. I just don't like the knives.
They do a good job with them. That's what I'm saying. The only thing is that they always do it on budget crap steels, and yeah, for high prices.
But I just have had every CRKT I've ever purchased has had an issue. My Pilar was sucked. My I didn't like the squid that much. I tried that one at a counter and was like, fuck that. Like, there's just been so many. Kyle, you have permission to use the axe if you want. I don't give a shit.
Say about 52 HRC.
Oh,
let me just say.
What?
I just bought a knife with a titanium blade. I'm waiting for it to get here.
What?
40 HRC.
What?
But hey, it's supposed to.
Is it not gonna just like shatter?
No, it's supposed to be like hardened.
Wait. You said 40?
40 RC. That's what it says. 40 RC. I don't know. It's supposedly
it's probably going to be like
it's supposed to hold like a toothy edge for a super long time. I think they hardened just the edge. I don't know. We're going to test it out. It seems pretty cool. So I think it was USA made too. So all
right, I'm going to rapid fire my other desk knives.
I might be wrong about that part. Go ahead.
Boom. TRM. Forget the name. Little one. Jared just gets me knives. I don't have time to learn the names. What is this one?
The nerd.
The nerd.
The holy nerd.
Apparently, I'm a holy nerd. That's why you got it.
Well, because of the hole. There's a nerd without the hole.
Okay. This one, the Iron Man Kaiser something. I like this one because it's red, and I don't normally like red, but I need,
Says the name right there.
I need one of every color. Do you know the name? It does not say the name, sweetheart. It just says N690. It's N690. I like N690. I've always liked N690.
I do know the name. I just can't think of it.
It's one of the few knives that has kind of a bright gold, like that I don't think looks super cheap. I've got Hinder half track. This is an obvious love of mine because of the color, and I love. Look at that blade. Look at it. Do you know why I like the blade? Do you know why?
Because that's it.
No. You don't know why I do particularly like this
because of the tip.
Wharncliffe, like utilitarian.
You like the
no,
tip.
I like that, but I like that when you hold the blade level, right? That the handle level, that the blade is actually canted up.
Oh, okay.
This is how I was gonna make butters, like this shape where it's canted up.
Right.
I love that.
Like
and the finger twirl, I love a good finger twirl, man. Like that. That one. Oh no, that one's not canted up as much as this.
It's canted up though.
Not like the half track.
Fine.
Don't worry, you're pretty. Anyway, and I got this Tucson here, which fuck me for not knowing. I don't remember the Tucsons.
129.
I love this Tucson, and somewhere
we have the Micarta one too.
I got a picture of it. It's got its own art. It's got its own portrait. which I'm gonna shove back there.
One of my Amazon delivery coworkers.
Wait, last one.
6-inch pig sticker. I asked why, and he said 3 months. He's seen 2 panthers, a bear, and had 3 dogs chasing back to the van. Well, the one fucking key would be stop running from fucking dogs. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Don't
They'll
run from cheetahs. Don't run from panthers. Don't run from dogs, especially.
Anyway,
run at them if anything.
It wasn't a low shot. We had an inside joke going about that. I promise. I wasn't being mean. Here is the Kaiser Swayback. I've had this one for a minute. It's kind of janky, and I feel like every time I give it to Jared to sharpen, he just drops it and pretends like he sharpened it. So I think the edge kind of needs to be sharpened. But that's just like a couple of them. And just to be super clear, our entire knife collection is ours, and then mine is mine, if that makes sense. Like everything that's his is mine, but then what's mine is mine. Does that make sense?
Typical relationship.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. We share everything, but I have particular ones that live at my desk. Like 90% of the collection lives here, and I have probably like 30 that sit at my desk. Like
okay,
regularly.
So we are going to show a short.
Okay.
Let me wish I could blow this up. Can you blow this up?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
All right. Let's today we're going to talk about how to mirror polish an edge. And the first step is to get a coarse stone and set your edge bevel on both sides. This is the beginning, and the most time you're going to spend on any of the stones is going to be your first stone. It's going to be the most work. Then you got to progress through a bunch of stones, removing the last scratch pattern from your previous stone. So you need to start with a coarse, go to a medium grit, go to a fine, ultra fine, then you can start going to a mirror polish. A cloudy finish is between 1200 and 2000 grit. A polishing finish is after 2000 grit. With this edge, I went to 5000 grit and then strapped on a polishing compound. The knife I sharpened is the Civivi Elementum button lock. It's a gravity knife, and you can see it came out incredibly sharp with a beautiful mirror polished edge. The stones I used were Neeves resin bonded diamond stones. I will link everything in the top of the comments and in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to watch that was just to show you guys I do have a short out there if you guys ever want to watch it. Talking about how to create a mirror polish. We're going to go through it in a little bit more detail because I only have 60 seconds in those videos. So, one, you need to make sure when you're planning on sharpening to a polish that you progress through your stones and don't go through them too fast. You want to make sure that with every stone, you remove the last scratch pattern. If you do not do that, then by the time you get to your last stone, there will be scratches too deep for your last stone to polish out. So start with an extra coarse, 150 grit, 140 grit, up to 300 grit. That's your first stone. Then move to 600 grit. Then move to 1200 grit or 1000 grit. One of the two, whichever one you have. Then go to 2000 grit or 3000 grit, because you kind of make bigger jumps the higher the grit you go. But over between 1200 grit and 2000 grit is a cloudy finish. Between 1200 grit and 2000 grit is a cloudy finish. After 2000 grit, that's when your mirror polish starts. So after 2000 grit, whatever stones you have over that will be your polishing stones, whether it's an ultrafine ceramic, a Neeves, or whatever other stones you guys have. Now, there's some Japanese stones that'll be 6000 grit, and they're not going to make a polish because they're not made to polish. They're natural stones, and they leave a cloudy finish, but other stones do. So then you can also use stropping compounds to polish your edge over 1200 grit. Once you've hit 1200 grit, you have the ability to start using stropping compounds to get to a polish. Is
that the thing that you use 3 micron or less or whatever?
Well, you would want to do like, if I was going to go from 1200 grit, I would start with like 12 micron, 9 micron, 6 micron, 3 micron, 1 micron. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money and a lot of straps. What?
When you're in the polishing phase, you use 3 micron at that point?
What do you mean?
I don't know, your juice that you use.
Polishing would be like 7 micron and lower.
Okay. You told me to tell somebody something the other day about you using this chip at 3 or less, and he was asking about polishing.
That's because the last stone was a higher micron than that.
Okay.
So if the last stone is 7 micron, well, then you want to go lower than that.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, I do. I have, you know what the funniest thing is that I have learned, like, obviously, like, I hear sharpening talk all the time. You know what I mean? Like, all the time. But the most I've learned about it is when Jared's telling me what to, like, write for, like, messages to help him out. Obviously, like, he can't answer every message himself. So when I help him and I'm asking him what to say, I learned so much because I have to write it. So I actually have to think about the words I'm writing down. It doesn't just, like, glaze over my head. You know, like, if you have a video playing and someone's talking about sharpening, like, I'm hearing it, but I'm not really, like, invested in it. But when I'm doing that, like, obviously I want to make sure people are getting, like, the exact information Jared would say. So I've learned, like, a whole bunch in, like, the last, I don't know, like 3 months about just from doing that. It's really,
I bet.
it's a good way.
If you can get yourself to 2000 grit, then polish, you can go to like 1 micron gunny juice, or 3 micron, then 1 micron. Because after 2000 grit, you're all ready to a polish. So now if you have like a 3 micron and a 1 micron, you'll be able to do pretty good results with a polish with that.
If you were forced to only be able to do polished edges or more like toothy / working edges for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
Say that again.
If you were forced to only be able to sharpen either with a polished mirror edge or a toothy working edge, which would you pick?
600 grit edge.
What, toothy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 600 grit. It's a medium grit.
Yeah, I didn't give you that as an option though.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a little medium-ish.
That's toothy though.
Okay.
It's still toothy.
All right.
So I'd pick medium grit because it's the most versatile grit amongst all steels. So I wouldn't have to worry about having a slick edge on the steels that don't like polished edges, and then I wouldn't have to worry, you know, I'd be able to still have a toothy finish on edges that like toothy finishes. Kurt asks, what about polishing films? Polishing films are fine. I don't really use them, but I know a lot of people do like them. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Does ceramic polish any? What grit is ceramic? So normally ceramics are 2500 grit. Not all though. So the Spyderco ceramic medium is, I think, like 1200 grit or something like that. And then their ultra fine is like 2500 grit, if not higher. It gets up higher. So you could probably range it between 2500 grit and 5000 grit, really. But the thing with ceramics is your ceramic won't be able to dig the scratch patterns out of a low grit edge. So that's why it doesn't make sense for Work Sharp to give you a 600 grit and then a ceramic. The only thing that ceramic is good for from 600 grit is to knock the damn burr off. That's it, which it works really good for that. You could use it for knocking your burr off and honing. That's it. If you're going to use it for edge finishing, you're going to want a 1200 grit in between. So you're going to want to go 600, 1200, then use the ceramic. Ever make your own straps? Yes. It's fun when solving problems. Steel-wise, materials like deer hide work great. Found some stuff directional. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of leather right now. I might actually make a whole bunch of straps because this leather is like, it's expensive. That I bought for like for a table mat, but it's just not working out in my camera very good. So I might just cut it all up and make straps out of it and sell them or something, because it's really good leather. Like really, really good leather. Like probably the best leather I have right now, even better than most of my straps leather. But I bought it, you know, really good quality leather for the table for the camera to look at, but it just doesn't, it keeps fucking with my camera's focus. So just finished sharpening my Shaman and Deca version 2. So much bite. Nice. Oh yeah. My rakes came with a reflective factory edge. That's from a buffing wheel. So in many cases, Not all, but in many cases that's not a good thing, because they most likely polish all the bite off. Now
That's what I was gonna ask. Wouldn't it just polish the toothiness off?
Yeah.
If you're not actually doing a full-on mirror edge and you're not reaping the benefits of that, wouldn't polishing off the
Well,
toothiness of an edge
the
take away that bite?
The reason why it does is because the wheel is soft. It's not
Yeah.
flat. So since it's soft, it curls around the apex. Even though it's polishing, like say if this is the edge bevel and this is the apex, it goes like this around it. So it rounds it.
Listen, Shane, I said it's ugly. He didn't ask for a pretty knife. He asked for a good fidgeting knife. I'm giving information.
What was it?
What do you think? It's ugly, but a great look here. It's right here. Look at
Okay.
it. It's ugly,
Calm the
but
fuck
look at
down.
this. Look.
Calm the fuck
Hold on. I can
down.
never do the angle right. Back flipper, right? Button lock. Front flipper,
But
button lock.
right now we're dealing with
Ooh.
a bunch of them failing.
Well, he said, what's the best fidgeting knife? He didn't say what's the best knife that I can spine whack to death.
Or what about
Is that one failing?
no?
Okay.
There's also, well, I don't know if you can get them right
I
now.
told him the
but
Orbiter,
the
actually.
EMP-EDC. The EMP-EDC is a really good one.
That one
if
just
you're
it
on a
has
budget,
so much.
If you're on a budget, there's a lot of great fidget knives on a budget. Like even like the Kubi Momentum, man, that thing's fidgety as all.
He didn't really say he was on a budget. He just said the best fidget knife. I said the Orbiter.
Do you recommend
But I can't
those
find one.
sharpening stone bundles on Amazon for a beginner?
Depends on the
It
brand.
depends on what bundle you're talking about.
They have a
I
ton of
recommend
bundles.
using my Amazon thing.
Kyle posted it already, but I'm
If
sure
you
he can do it again.
or look down in the description. I have my Amazon thing, my Amazon store. So click that, and you will see packs of ultra sharp diamond plates.
Oh,
That's what I recommend.
True, the Winter Blades Factor. I changed my answer.
Oh yeah, but nobody can get those.
But first I told him the Orbiter. Nobody can get those either. But I mean, that's the answer.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The Orbiter is the greatest fidget knife.
Yeah, but they're not asking.
I
like,
told him you can't get it, so then
Okay.
I told him the corner it. But I'm going to be honest, that's my favorite. Who let us borrow that?
Central.
I want that back.
Okay, so next topic: hair whittling. I've gotten a
Hair?
lot of questions lately about hair whittling and how to basically whittle
He
a
doesn't
hair.
actually do it. He just burns the hair. He heats up the
I
knife
just heat up the blade.
and then goes,
I got blamed for that.
yeah.
So literally multiple.
You think this
multiple
hair
people,
could be burned? No. I have hair of steel.
multiple people, like, as if the blade wouldn't be black or red if it was that hot to melt hair.
Yeah, well, I guess because my straightener, like hair straightener, it gets up to like 420 degrees Fahrenheit, and that doesn't melt my hair. So you'd have to get
Yeah,
some hot shit
Yeah,
going.
right.
I kind of want to try it.
But and I know the black would rub off the blade, but in order to get that hot,
I
to
feel
just
like you'd
melt-
also see too. You know what I mean? Like when you just see the hair, like,
That's what they think they saw.
but you can kind of see this.
That's what they saw.
You can see the hair like literally getting cut vertically.
That's what
though.
they think they saw.
Well, they don't know how to think.
They don't know what they're looking at. They're looking at the hair like curdling after being cut.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Anyways, no, it's okay. But no, what you do in order to whittle hair, so the one important thing is going to be your edge angle. Edge angle is super important to hair whittling. In many cases, you're not going to be able to do it with high edge angles. The apex is just not fine enough to grab onto the hair grain. Winston Cabretti, thank you for the 20 bones.
Wow.
Just stopping in real quick. Hope all is well with you. I recently customized a
Ooh.
Bastinelli La Sanction,
LA
blacked
Sanction.
it out, murdered out. It is the shit. It sounds like it, man. Thank you for the donation. Sounds like a badass.
I always want to say La Sanction as well. Every time I see that, isn't it LA Sanction? Isn't
LA
it?
Sanction.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the best in LA. But I always want to say La Sanction.
So thank you, man. I appreciate the donation. So hair has grain, right? So the grain runs in one direction, and you want to make sure that when you're trying to whittle it, that the grain is going the opposite direction that your
So it can
blade is
catch?
going, so that it can catch.
Or you could cheat
Now-
and use a split end that's already started for you.
In some cases, where the fuck is a pen? I always have a pen.
Here, I have your pen holder.
Oh, I
here.
got one here. I
Oh,
found
you
it.
don't need
I
one?
got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that the hair grain is running the opposite direction.
How do you see it though?
You don't. You can't see it.
Well, mine's easy because it's half dark, half blonde, so you could tell what direction the hair came from.
No, what you do, I'll tell you how to find out. But you want, say, if this is the hair, and then this would be the edge. You want the apex to catch one of those on the way. Now, if it's extreme, if you're like a crazy good sharpener, you can make it cut the opposite way. But this is the easiest way, right? So what you're going to do is, in order to know what side it is, you can take the hair, take your edge, and you can take the hair to the edge, right? Not the edge to the hair to the edge, and kind of like let it rub, and you'll feel it catching a little bit. If it's just sliding right over like nothing, the hair's the wrong direction. Flip it over. Now, like I said, high angle edges are not going to be able to whittle hair as easily as low angle edges. 15 degrees per side is going to whittle a hell of a lot easier than a 25-degree edge bevel. Another thing is, the finer the edge, the more likely it is to whittle hair. Now, that doesn't mean a 600 grit edge can't whittle hair, because I've whittled hair with 600 grit many times. But it tends to do it a little bit better if it's at a very fine grit. Now, some steels do not hang on to bite. And we're going to talk about this too after this, about why that is the case. But some steels take mirror polish edges better than others. And those steels are going to be the best at hair whittling. But you can absolutely do it with a 1200 grit edge, 100%, as long as the edge angle is low, a nice low edge angle.
Lower, like
so
lower than 17?
Like 15, between 15 and 17 degrees at least.
What's the lowest angle you've ever put on a knife?
10.
What knife did you do that on?
Chef knives.
Oh, wait, I thought chef knives usually had bigger angles.
I've done 14
Don't
degrees.
chef knives
I've done
usually have,
14
like,
degrees on
20-degree
Medfords
angles?
before.
Am I wrong about that?
What?
Don't chef knives usually have like 20-degree angles?
No, it just depends on the edge geometry.
Okay.
If it's super thin behind the edge, then yeah, then you want a higher angle. If it's not like super duper thin, then a low angle is what you want. Okay, so the reason why talking about polishing.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why some steels take polishes better than others is the grain structure in the steel. So like say steels with large carbides, typically, not all, but typically don't do the best with mirror polished edges. Usually you want the carbides to be a little bit finer. Even if it's a high carbide steel, just the grain structure of the steel, the like say D2 for an example. D2 doesn't do good with a polished edge, even though it can take a polished edge. Once you start using it, the bite from the apex just comes off. Like it basically like rounds off or just loses its bite. Same thing with a lot of other steels, but it's because the carbides are big. Now that doesn't mean that just because a fine grain structured small carbide steel is gonna do good, because there's sometimes where the grain structure is too fine. For an example, what is it, like CPM 154? It's a powdered steel. It's a powdered 154. That steel does not do good with a polished edge because the grain structure is just too fine, and maybe it doesn't have enough carbides in it. I don't know the exact reason. I just know it's so fine grained that it literally does not even take a good polish.
Is there any knives that don't take a good toothy edge, or would pretty much every knife? Steel, not knife steel.
It's not about taking. So all of them will take a good toothy edge. Most of them will take a good medium grit edge, but
some don't with polish.
Some don't with polish. However, some do better with a polished edge than with a medium.
Better for what?
Edge retention.
Okay.
So meaning like if you were going to cut, say, rope or cardboard and then base it on paper, like if it catches or not, a polished edge will get like 10 to 20% more edge retention out of than a medium or low grit edge on certain steels. But now the thing is though, is that in practice though, meaning like when you're on the job and using it, that edge that's still cutting cleanly through paper doesn't usually have as much bite as, say, the medium grade edge that would probably serve you better in the long run cutting things.
I can significantly feel the difference when I had a job where it's weird that like now that I'm full-time on a knife channel, I actually use knives less than when I did before, to be honest with you.
Whoa!
Holy, okay, hold on, I'll stop.
Maurice, you son of a bitch,
What
coming
the
in
F?
hot. Damn it, Maurice. Damn it, Maurice. Hey, I told you to email me.
Paying him a damn doctor's salary.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know if you've seen that message I sent you on YouTube, but contact me on email. I had something for you. Thank you for the donation, man. Man, that's crazy. 100 fucking pounds, man.
Paying you that doctor's salary. You're Dr.
Crazy,
J.
Crazy son of a bitch.
Dr. J.
Maurice, you're the man. Thank you. Man, I appreciate all your support. He's been such a huge supporter, and I can't thank him enough. Man.
Absolutely.
Check this edge out. Careful though. That's crew wear.
You know,
That's crew wear.
Gotta be careful.
Be careful.
Oh my god, it's so bitey.
Yeah, it'll fuck you up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
It's literally catching every little part of my finger.
And that's a polished edge.
Is it? Oh, I didn't even look at it. It doesn't look very polished. Oh, that side does. Why doesn't this side? Oh, it's dust. It's dust.
It might have stuff on it.
Yeah,
I might have been using it.
What angle is this at? 15?
Yeah.
Because it's Spyderco.
PM2.
See, I'm not too pretty to know that. Right?
You can buy 2 practices for the price of what Maurice just donated. 2.5.
Look, it literally can shave my skin.
Oh, baby.
Look at that.
Yeah.
What are you sad I lost 2 cells of skin?
Well, I don't want you to cut yourself.
I'm not gonna cut myself.
Damn it, fucker.
It's coming from the guy that stepped on a knife. You don't want me to cut myself.
No. Why would I want you to cut yourself just because I do?
When I cut myself, I choose to stab a micro tuck down to my kneecap. I do it right.
Listen, I had somebody the other day, or during the video with the dagger knives, this thing, I had comments of people thinking that, well, because I don't know, they must have thought these wounds were fresh.
What wounds?
This knife right here, they thought that these scars
were from you doing
these
that?
Scars on my wrist right here were from me. Look, going like that, and like it's stabbing me, I guess, like
so
that.
Like, this isn't a safe knife.
Yeah, they were like, look, he's already stabbed himself. It's like, no, motherfuckers, it's not from that. These are healed.
Those are conveniently placed, scars. Though, I will admit.
Yeah, but I'll be honest though, they were from spinning karambits.
That's kind of different though than opening a knife. Oh,
yeah, but it was for me spinning a karambit. Where's the $1,000 button at? I'm sure you will find it. You just got to type it in.
The what? The $1,000 button at?
You have to do a super chat for that.
That's a lot of money. Have you ever seen those videos where people go into like small streams and like bigger streamers they drop like $1,000 donations, and the streamers have like 1 or 2 people watching, and they'll just drop $1,000 on them, and they're just like, what the, like, I love those videos. I hope one day that we could afford to do that for like small knife channel streams.
Oh yeah.
We could do it with like a smaller amount of money that would still be cool, like 50 or something.
Yeah.
That would be really fun to do.
Yeah,
I've always thought that would be fun to do.
No, it definitely would be. And I like doing that kind of stuff.
Me too. It's fun.
To all that's here.
Yeah, raids.
I
thought raids was when you sent your viewers over to another channel.
That's really good at holding an edge, but the biggest pain to sharpen. Probably S110V.
Not Maximate.
I don't mind sharpening Maximate.
Yeah, you never have.
But S110V can be, I mean, I don't have a problem sharpening any steel.
Yeah, he's a freehand sharpener. If you didn't know, that's what he does. He sharpens with these bad boys right here.
But the S110 can have deep burring issues. But what I would recommend anybody sharpening it, use a strap to remove your burr. don't use the stone. For some reason, the stone, at least from my experience, it just passes the burr back and forth. But if you use a strop, it'll just knock it right off.
What's the best OTF blade? D Money want to know.
The best OTF?
Probably one of those Hawks.
Yeah, Hawk Deadlock.
I just had a sweatshirt on before the live with the Hawk knives, but it was too hot, so I took it off. Yeah, that's what I thought. Seems logical. For what I know, like a Twitch raid is like when somebody's done streaming and you can take your chat and literally like transfer them to somebody else's thing when you're done. It's really cool. So like if you were on Twitch and like you know how Mike always streams after you, you could literally take your chat against their will and plop them into his live. They can leave if they want, obviously. But
speaking of that, Mike Emler has a giveaway this Wednesday. Sorry, guys.
Slapping the mic.
Slap the mic. We have the mic right here. Mike Emler has a live.
I just realized the same word.
Mike Emler has a live on Wednesday at 9:30 Central Time or 7:30. What is that? West Coast time.
And
he has over $1,600 in prizes from this giveaway. You have to be a subscriber, but if you show up and you're a subscriber, you can win in the giveaway. It's going to be live, so you enter there, all the good shit, just same way we do the entering here with a hashtag.
And I'm pretty sure he can just slap the chat into subscribers only, so you have to.
That's what he's doing.
Subscribe.
That's what he's doing. You're not even going to be able to comment if you're not subscribed. So
yeah.
Go over there, subscribe. Wednesday, it'll be right after my live. Our lives are up at Wednesday, and we stop at 9:30. That's when his goes on at 9:30 Central. Each package is going to be about $600 a piece. So it's $1,600 altogether. Each package has about $600 worth of knives. He has a lot of great knives over there.
You can do raids with YouTube now. Just read a sharp.
Do
I have to do it actually on YouTube though? Because like we're using like a third-party streaming service. So a raid. What I just explained.
What is it?
You weren't listening to me, were you?
I was thinking. No,
you were looking at me when I said it to you, so that's weird.
Okay, what is it?
I said it's when you can take your commenters and forcefully place them into somebody else's live when you're done.
Oh, yeah.
You can literally send them
That's
there.
Weird.
It's not weird. It's called a raid. Like you're saying, like, I'm going to give you guys over to, like, you're done. You're like, hey, thanks, guys, for the night. All right, I'm going to send you over to, let's see who's streaming. Oh,
really?
Mike is, and you
can you do that for StreamYard?
Well, that's what I was saying. We might have to actually go to YouTube to do it. Like, off this and go on the YouTube app. Do you do it through YouTube? Yeah. So I would have to just go on my phone and do it. I don't know how to do it. I'll look into it. Mike usually streams after us. I mean, like I said, people can leave if they want. It's not like they're trapped, but like you
fucking trapped. You're not going nowhere.
You plop them over there, and it honestly, it's more likely to get like whoever you send it to. It's more likely to help them retain viewers because if you end your stream, right, and people have to actually go to another stream themselves, they're more likely to stay at said stream if you put them there instead of them being like, actually, I'm kind of done. You know, like it's just a nice thing to do.
I agree. I just feel like if they're not willing to just hit the link in the chat and jump over there, they're most likely not willing to stay there.
It's just a nice thing to do.
Or whatever. The new Convict from Concept is pretty damn dope. I know, you know, it's a budget knife, but a damn good budget knife. So you guys already know how much I love the premium Concept Convict. So the premium one is my favorite Concept, but this is with the whole deployment. This is dope. 154 cm. It does come in different handle materials. So this is the Blue G10. They have my Carta ones. But the sharpening choil is exactly the way you want a sharpening choil to be. Beautiful Wharncliffe blade.
I wish I would have just made that a full finger choil though. It's so close. It's kind of small.
You don't need a finger choil because you can get.
I don't need it, but I want it.
Okay, well you don't need it.
I want it.
It's so good because you can turn it around. You can cut straps. You can do pinch grips. You can do forward grips very comfortably. It is a great knife. So this is a great new budget knife that I highly recommend.
Nobody's darling. Have you checked Etsy? Because if you can't find them just by Googling, usually that's the next best place because people make them sometimes.
Thank you, Edgy American. Shane, thank you for the 2 bones. He's saying someone's in the chat as pucks for fun. Well, I'm sure he'll leave now.
Yeah, probably. If there's actually some actual evidence mods, you can handle it.
Yeah, we let the mods handle that shit. Okay, so I guess I don't have anything else written down except for my story in 20 minutes. So let's just shoot the shit. I did have fuck that.
What?
Nothing. Sorry, you have the wrong person. He says you have the wrong person. He's got a YouTube channel, it looks like.
Sorry, you have the wrong person. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's weird.
Anyways, so you guys know, if you guys are on my Instagram, I posted a short the other day of trying to get other people to basically work out. Like I did a post saying, like, if I do 30 pull-ups, will you attempt to do one? If I do 100 push-ups, will you attempt to do one? And it was just to get people motivated. And I do want to thank all the people that joined in and were willing to do that, because that shit got me so pumped up when you guys were like, yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'll do 5, you know, things like that. Like that.
The push-ups?
Yeah,
I did it.
That's so amazing, guys. Like I absolutely love that. I love encouraging, like, just you know, exercising and being healthy and pushing yourself. Even if you're even like I said, even if it's just one. And I said this in the thing. If you did one, at least you started. Like, that's all that matters. So
I did one.
So I definitely appreciate you guys leaving so many comments.
And you know what's funny?
Joining
is I did that one, and then it spurted me into doing now 6 a.m. workouts, which I don't work out.
Yeah. So Bob Smith, this is how I recommend. Okay, so I do have a full video on it. If you want to watch, I have a live sharpening video with great detail. So I would watch that. It's a live members sharpening, but it's open to the public for you to watch. But it was a members live. We do 2 lives a month for the members if you want to join the membership. But I have an entire video teaching how to sharpen convex, or at least the way I do it. There's different ways to do it, but my favorite way is stone in hand, and just like this on a stone. And the reason why is because you try to hold your angle as much as possible, but because this hand is moving a little bit too, it's going to convex your edge. Even if you want to do everything possible to hold your angle, don't try to convex. It's just going to naturally convex because of you holding it in hand and the fluctuation. Watch that video though. Boo with the 5 bones.
Why is everyone giving us their last dollars today?
I'm broke as fuck, expecting an EXO Monday. Wanted to say that you two are looking fine. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, the EXO, man, that's badass. Good for you on getting one, because I know, well, right now, anybody who wants one, they can get one. White Mountain Knives, they should have some still left. I'm not sure if they're still in stock, but they should be. But yeah, that's an awesome score. It's a badass knife. It is, you know, it's undeniably badass. It really is. It's something unique. You don't see it every day. You don't see it all over I would love to see more. And I think that a lot of people in my that one video I did on it that got like 20 million views, you know, a lot of people said they wished it had a spring, and I agree. That's a great idea. Like, if it had a spring so that it would automatically close. So, like,
which knife? I'm sorry, I was typing
the
something.
EXO.
Oh,
exoskeleton.
Yeah. So like sucked in?
Yeah, so like you wouldn't have to worry about closing it with your hand. It would just automatically close with your hand. Maybe you
would be cool.
Maybe you can push it open so you could swing it out, but then as soon as you let your thumb go, it snaps back closed.
I would want it to still feel loose, if that makes sense, though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want it to be like
for sure.
It's kind of like how like the Factor Winter Blade. I just said that totally back there. The Winter Blade Factor kind of has that suck in because of the magnets at the end. I know you're reading, but
no,
you know what I'm saying?
listening to you.
Okay, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What?
The knife going back into the handle.
Which knife?
The EXO.
No.
What? The what?
Just good.
What would you say? The Factor?
Oh, shit.
You
yes.
said Factor? Okay. What about it though? Because of the magnets?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that feeling. Like
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do something.
Well, that
like,
was the other thing that people said was also like
Okay.
maybe there could be a
Oh,
magnet in
yeah,
there.
because if you check this out. If you put a magnet at the butt of it, right,
Mhm.
and the blade stuck to it, and you kind of just gave it a little shake for it to come out with
Right,
gravity,
right, just enough
then-
to break the
right,
magnet.
and then when it comes in, it kind of helps pull it back in without.
Oh, maybe it leaves.
You could put the magnets, a few of them on the side too, that are repelling against each other. Maybe that would help push it out, like in a way where it still feels like it's you, but it's helping with that force to get it off the other man. I don't know if that would work.
Maybe if there's like a little spot right there where you can grip
I'm
it.
sure
and
there's a way
push,
you could do
where
it.
you can grip it on it with your fingers and push. So like
I'm still saying you'd open the regular way though.
So at the end, I know.
Oh,
So at
okay.
the end, when the blade goes up, maybe there's a magnet attached to the back of the blade too,
Right.
so that the magnets are stronger
Right.
when it's opened.
On the butt of the steel of the blade.
But
and
when
the
you
knife.
want to deploy it, it's just a flick of the wrist.
Well, yeah, and the gravity with a little flick would be enough.
Well, you owe me for every one I do. So you owe me 90 then.
What if Jared does
I did
3?
30 today.
He said he'll imagine them.
I know. I'm saying he has to imagine himself fucking doing 90 of them. Start imagining.
I'm talking about them. Oh yeah, he is doing the Mirage like that. But I'm just saying for the EXO. Isn't it the EXO? It's not the EXO. It's the EXO because it's exoskeleton.
Okay.
Yeah,
but people say
Why does everyone say EXO?
because you can type it in that way.
It throws me off.
But yeah, no, I think that that's a great idea, either a magnet or a spring. A lot of people are saying that in the comments. I still own the first knife my dad got me. What was your first knife? And may the Lord Jesus Christ bless you and your family.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. My first knife was a very large, I think it was a buck or a Schrade. It looked like a giant buck 110. And my dad gave it to me as my first knife when I was 5 years old. It was damn near too big for me to even open up, let alone close. I used to have to hold it with 2 hands and push it against the table because it was a back lock and then close it. But yeah, no, good for you on still owning yours. I lost all my knives that my dad got me growing up, which was a lot. We had a huge collection. He was the one that actually got me into collecting. Hoping to get something special for my birthday in February. Still trying to decide. Was thinking an Olamic Wayfair. Nice.
Somebody
But
just
maybe
dropped a
there's
bunch of
something better
memberships. Who did that?
Um,
Severe Deceit gifted 5 Neeves Knives
Hey,
memberships. That's
Severe
huge.
Deceit. Thank you, man.
So Chicago 23, Stephen Vasice, I can't say
You
that.
guys
I'm
hear
sorry.
that?
Mike Reese, Charles Davis, and Nuts for Knives are all non-members.
You guys are members.
That's amazing.
That's awesome, man.
That's a really
yeah.
awesome thing.
Steve Yoder with the 5 bones. Did you hear you can get a iron and a carbon for the price of an alloy? What a steal. You can get an iron and a carbon for the price of alloy. What a steal. I did not know that. Thank you for the 5 bones. I seen somebody talking about their birthday. Happy birthday. And yeah, the Olamic Wayfair is pretty cool. I love the Olamic Whippersnapper. But yeah, they're pretty dope. Naff, shout out to Naff. He just showed up. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel. Thank you very much for the quick tip. I will check the members live you mentioned. I am lazy, but I did check your sharpening playlist before asking. Yeah, it should be in the sharpening playlist, but it should say live convex sharpening or something, or sharpening convex or something like that. If you need me to, I can try to find it really quick. It says it's Neeves Members Live Convex Sharpening Sunday. That's what it's called. So shouldn't be hard to find. Steve, I see what you did there. Yeah, I don't. Still a live chat. Yes, it's still a live chat. Johnny B. Shout out to Johnny B. Jumping in here. Gramps gave me a Swiss Army knife at like 3. Yeah, my first one was about 5 years old. It was a big ass knife, but I had a bunch of knives after that though too. Like that was just the beginning. After that, like I carried a knife from then on. Like at every age. My dad expected me to have a knife.
Hi,
So
Jeremiah.
like he would reach over like and tell me like at 7 years old, give me your knife, you know. So
This chat is all pre-recorded.
my oldest blade I still got is a manual opening Italian stiletto with a 5-inch blade that I got from a pawn shop in 1977. Just redid the edge and it'll glide through paper. I bet you it's soft steel though, ain't it? I bet you it is. Well, I mean, 1977, you know, we've came a long way with steels. So, you know, regardless, that's awesome, man. Good for you.
Do you remember those little? I wanted one so bad when I was a kid. Those little stiletto combs.
Yeah, I had one.
I got one, and I was so proud.
Felt good.
I like how you go like this and I go like this.
Yeah. You go down.
And let me tell you something. They were fucking terrible for girls' hair, man. The plastic prongs were so bendy that they would just through your hair. Oh, it was terrible. But they were cool to carry around like you had a knife.
I think I had a Schrade Lockback 2. When I was younger, I believe it was called a Bear Paw. I had a small cub of my Schrade 2. I have an old timer now that's very similar to the knife I'm talking about, except for the one that I'm talking about was actually even bigger than the old timer. The old timer's about the size of a buck 110, maybe a little tiny bit bigger. Kurt, did you ever get a hold? Oh, that's not for me. My EDC is a Spyderco Para 2. I cannot successfully sharpen. Must practice. I have lots of videos, Johnny B. Definitely watch my sharpening playlist. I have tons and tons of sharpening content. I am literally about to do a video on this sharpening system that's very, very affordable. And I don't know yet, but it looks promising. It looks like it's going to be a good system. It's similar to the way a Wicked Edge works. Wicked Edges are like $1,000. This thing's like $50, so or something like that. We'll see. We'll see how it does. But there's a lot of great sharpening systems out there. If you're wanting to freehand, Johnny, I would recommend getting the WorkSharp bench sharpener because it comes with angle guides already there. All you have to do is line it up and hold the angle. I just did a live on it a week ago, if you want to check it out. So I did a live sharpening on it 1 week ago on Sunday. For those of you thinking I am not distinguished, I'm sitting next to my space heater, sipping on some hot cocoa and enjoying a nice licorice pipe. I got me some coffee. Todd says, when I was in grade school, we carried pen knives for peeling fruit. How times have changed.
That is so funny. He just said that. Can I say a story really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw this story on like this video on YouTube, and it was this boy, and he came from, I forget.
Keep talking.
I forget what country, but it was like Scandinavia maybe or something like that. Anyway, point is like I guess wherever he came from, it was totally typical for them to carry like something akin to like a buck 110 and have that in their pocket to use to cut apple. Like he said the same thing, to cut apples for lunch. Like it was completely normal. Yep. He moved to America when he was like 7.
He got in trouble.
And he went to school and he took out his little pocket knife, and this was like mid 2000s, and he took out his pocket knife, started cutting his apple, and like security literally fucking tackled him, took him out, arrested him. He had no clue what was happening. He was terrified. He was like 7, had no fucking idea what he did.
Why would you tackle a 7-year-old?
He had a knife in school. And they're all hyper whatever about everything. As if you could do something to tons of people. He
probably just got picked up. But go ahead.
No, because he tried to run.
Why would he run?
He didn't know what was happening. He just thought men were attacking him.
That doesn't make any sense.
They were playing clothes.
The story's falling apart.
It's not falling apart.
You're in lunch, sitting at a table.
And 2 men come grab you. Your instinct's going to be to try to run.
How are you? If a 7-year-old tried to run from me, you know what I would do? I'd fucking
throw
him through the fucking wall.
They did. That's my point. Like, that's my point. He probably just squirmed to the floor and tried to scoot, and then they got on him. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying he fucking sprinted away.
Did he not speak English?
No, he did, but
so he probably understood that they were saying, "Hey, you can't have a knife. Give that to me."
They didn't do that. They didn't say give it to me. They took him all the way to jail.
Maurice with another 5 bones coming in hot. 105 bones now.
Wait.
Hello, my name is Maurice. This is my first time on your channel and commenting. Nice to meet you, Neeves. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate
This is
it.
sus.
So sus.
What if it really is a different
So
Maurice
sus.
and he's like, what the fuck are they talking
No,
about?
I can tell by the knife collection. That's Maurice. That's Maurice right there. I can tell.
Maurice.
Do you see the buck 110 in there? I think I do. I think I do. I see a buck
In the middle, there's
119
some
or
sort of a
whatever.
buck.
I see a buck, that's for sure. Thank you, man.
Papa
Jared, I checked my
Pizza.
Kaiser Towser K button lock from White
What
Mountain Knives
is
after
that
watching your
thumbnail?
video, and mine just takes an easy spine whack and it folds. Right. We talked about it all the beginning of this. We tested a lot of knives and a lot of them failed. What?
I was pointing at something.
What?
His picture.
This one?
What is that?
It's a bear riding a bike.
Huh. Looks
I
like it has hooves.
Would it be cool? Wait, would it be cool if the Wicked Edge aftermarket parts worked on the cold steel system? That would be dope. What I'm hoping, and I don't know, I haven't even opened it yet. You guys can see. I'm hoping that this thing is able to get different stones and not only the
Like
stones.
aftermarket products.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then maybe I'll try to rig
Did
something up, or maybe I'll try to contact somebody that can maybe make aftermarket parts.
Yes, we've tried the new Elementum button lock.
Yes, I
Did
do
you
have
spine
one.
whack
Yes,
it?
I have one. Oh, did I spine
No,
whack
I'm
it?
asking that. He didn't ask
No,
that.
I haven't spine whacked that one, but I will.
He'll whack the shit out of it.
Yeah. So far, none of the Civivis have failed. A lot of the Kaisers have, though. My parents were teachers back in the late 70s. There was a family who sent their son to school with hard sausage, cheese, a small knife, and a tiny wine bottle. That's what they thought you brought. That's hilarious.
What? Different countries.
I brought a knife to
They
school
wanna
when
see
I
the
was a kid,
the
and what they
Elementum.
did was they found it, or I don't know how they found it. I don't remember what happened. Maybe I took it out of my pocket, but they seen it and they're like, "Hey, you're not allowed to have that." They took it just to the end of the day and gave it
Yeah.
to they gave it to me at the end
But
of the day.
it's different
But I know
now.
it's different because back then, men were men and boys were boys, and women didn't have dicks yet, so it's a lot different. but yeah, if you brought a knife, they would just take it from you and give it back to you at the end of the day.
I did, Kurt.
But I do remember when everything started changing, though.
I do.
I
too.
remember thinking, like, when they were like talking about expelling you if you brought a knife to school.
I remember them talking
I was
about
like, how dare you? What are you talking about? Why would you fucking expel me if I forget my pocket knife is in my, because that's the way I thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, if I forget my pocket knife is in my bag, right? Because I had a Marlboro bag, so I carried that. That was just my bag.
Yeah.
Right. Or if I forgot my knife was in my pocket, how are you gonna fucking like expel me for that? Like, if I'm not using it as a weapon or anything like that, and I couldn't wrap my head around it, but it was because, especially where I was at, lots of kids, lots of gang violence, kids were getting shot, stabbed, and all kinds of shit. So,
I remember when they started saying that if you had Advil on you in school, that you could get in big trouble, that you couldn't bring Advil to school. And I remember thinking, like, what the fuck?
I almost got in trouble for ibuprofen one time.
It's weird. Like, I remember like carrying it, feeling like I was carrying in heroin or something. Like, they literally, but my brother one time, he like skipped and like came in this back door of the school. This was like high school age. And there's the security guards that they would hire in my high school were always like the kids that used to be at the high school that like didn't go to college. And they would like always wind up being the school security guard for like the following year. So it would be like somebody who just was fucking in school. Like, of course, there was always a few that were like, older dudes or whatever, but there was a lot that were young, 19, 18-year-olds that were just at this school.
Yeah.
And my brother came in the door and they would always act like they were police officers. They let it go to their heads. But this one guy, he walked in and my brother was smoking a joint and he still had the roach. And the guy was like, what's that? And like my brother's literally like smoked with him before. It was like fucking stupid. And he was like what's that? Trying to be all ridiculous. And he's like, all right, man, let's just throw it out in the trash and we don't talk about it again. Yeah. So my brother threw it in the trash and then he just came back and got it. Yeah. It was just so weird though that they always hired kids that were just there.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre that they did. They probably don't do that anymore.
I smoked with some of my teachers. We had guns in the back glass of our trucks in high school parking lots. Yeah, I bet. I'm back in the day. I mean, I'm sure that flew. I remember kids I
Did they
remember
have
kids
wallet chains?
coming to school with guns, and I remember kids getting
Oh,
expelled
I
or kicked
remember.
out.
Yeah,
And
we
all
got to
kinds of
go
shit.
home early a couple times.
Yeah, I
'cause
did
of
too
that.
one time. One time we had one where this kid had a pistol, and I don't know how they knew or how they found out, but they did a locker search, and he had it on him, and I think they went right to his locker because so that he knew right away that they knew that he had a gun for whatever reason. I don't know how they knew. And I don't know how he got past the metal detectors or whatever, but somehow he had the gun on him. But anyways,
We had one where the kid brought it and he had an intended target who actually the intended target was somebody I was like acquainted with. Like he was in my friend group. I wouldn't personally say I was friends with him, but he was around me a lot. He was the intended target, I guess, for this. And the kid brought it and he went into the bathroom, which had drop ceiling, and he put it up in the ceiling. But he like fucked up and didn't put the tile back quite right. And the security guard saw him and like his little buddies go in the bathroom and he just thought it seemed weird. He probably thought they were smoking or something though. But he followed him in there and like dude was vigilant enough that he noticed the ceiling tile. He went up in there and he found the pistol.
Okay, so what happened with
they sent us all home.
With us, they announced on the thing that there was an emergency
Yeah.
for all the teachers to bring all the students outside. They lined us all up. He came running down the hallway, wound up trying to escape through the metals class. In the school, there was a metals class and there was garage doors in the metals class, so he tried to escape there.
Ooh, okay.
And so at first he tried to hide, then he tried to escape there because once they evacuated the school, now SWAT team was coming in or whatever, like, the police, whatever. So they're going to sweep the building, and he fucking tried to escape out the back of the metals class, and they caught his ass, got him, arrested him, and I don't think he had the firearm on him, but then they wound up recovering it and finding it.
Kurt, that's funny.
Back in 78, I got caught with a 5-inch blade. I got suspended and had to go to the Board of Education with my parents to get reinstated.
He made a big deal of it.
Damn, that's weird. Like, so mine was in the 90s and they just gave it back to me. It wasn't a 5-inch stiletto.
It just really depends.
Mine was just a regular folding pocket knife, not a fucking stiletto. But I remember kids getting busted with brass knuckles and all kinds of shit, though.
Go back down. Look. Wait, where to go? Oh, no. Zeroaster, Mr. Toaster said, didn't make any sense. Kids would sell Xanax in the bathroom, but a ballet trainer is going too far. LOL. Oh my god.
Jay, you can take 300 grit sandpaper and sand it. So you just take 300 grit sandpaper and rough it up. You should take the scales off first, but if you're not worried about scratching something, you can leave it on there and do it with them on there. Just make sure you dust it off and don't let the dust get in the pivot. But otherwise, take the scales off, take everything apart, take the screws out, and then sand it down with 300 grit sandpaper. It'll rough it up. You can go anywhere between 150 grit and 300 grit. We'll give it a decent rough finish. 300 grit's not really rough, but it's rougher than probably what it is right now. These spine wax are random. Not all seem to have the issue. I wonder what the ratio of good ones to bad ones. I'm thinking like 50% at this point. I'm really thinking because like of some of the knives I'm checking, it's literally like the one was what was it? 2 for 1. The other one was 1 to 1. The other one I only had one of. But it seems like with all the ones I have doubles of, half of them are doing it. So I'm just gonna take a guess, 50%. Not your average EDC girlfriend should start an OnlyFans.
What?
Maybe she might. Seems like a lot of bitches are doing that these days.
Not me.
I want the TJ Schwartz Overland so bad. You missed a super chat? No, I didn't miss a super chat.
Yeah, you did from Maurice, I think.
Oh, shit, this was a new one.
Yeah.
Dr. J, I'm cold and scared. Your insensitivity will drive me to hang out with Charlie Sheen. Don't go hanging out with Charlie Sheen. And I am not insensitive. Thank you for the 5 bones. Fucking Maurice.
He's not insensitive. This man is rubbing my foot right now like a nice boy.
One kid claimed to have a gun stashed on campus. They shut the entire campus down, brought dogs to sniff, and didn't find anything. I remember they came and did a locker search on me, and my teacher wound up fucking taking my shit and hiding it for me.
Damn it, I keep dropping my stuff.
Where'd it go? I'll get it. Here.
Thank you.
John Doe with another 5
John
bones.
Doe with the dough. How can we never say that?
John Doe with the dough. I like it. Thank you for the 5 bones. We have story time coming up. I'm going to talking about intimidating a witness. I literally knew a girl who died, and last person she was with was Charlie Sheen. Creepy. No joke. Yeah, I'm sure he's been with a few people that have died, to be honest. Hate to say it.
I'm just messing with you, Dr. J. I love you, idiot.
Love you too, brother. Like I said, send me an email. I got something for you.
You're telling a story now?
You'd pay me for feet pics, roaster? Don't tempt me. What'd you say?
You're doing a story now?
Yeah, story time.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go?
Yeah.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right, give me a kiss.
Love you.
Review.
Love you guys. Let you tell your story uninterrupted.
Go get to your game.
I shall.
You could stay. Interrupt.
No.
I don't care. Stay. Come on. Come on.
But you're just telling a story.
I'm just telling a story. That's it. You can stay if you want to, though. Maybe you can ask questions that they're going to think of. Okay.
Only if I can ask every question that comes to my mind.
Okay, go ahead.
But you're going to be telling a bad story.
I am telling a bad story.
I don't like that.
Okay, I'm telling a bad story.
Why you always got to tell bad things?
That's all I know.
Why don't you tell a nice story?
It's it is a nice story to me.
Why don't you tell a story?
I'll explain why I think it's a nice story.
Why don't you tell a story?
I'm telling this story. This is a story I planned. And I've already told them and the hype is up. So okay. They want this story.
Should you really tell shit like this though?
Yeah, I was underage. It was the first time I did this, so it's too young. It's too young to prosecute now.
Carol not wanting to leave. Carol wanting to leave because she's heard the story for the umpteenth time.
I don't think she's heard.
Can you guys tell that Jared is a repeat storyteller?
Do you know what this story is?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure when you start talking, I will.
Right. I don't know if you do. You might know a little bit of it, but I don't know if you know the whole thing. Anyways, but no, I don't usually do repeat stories. I've done repeat stories here,
no,
but
I'm talking
far
about
spread
me.
apart.
I'm talking about like in your life.
But I don't do it to you.
You have like your stories that you like to tell when like a certain subject comes up and you like to repeat them. Yeah, you do. But I don't mind it. Okay. You've always done that.
Well, I think everybody does that to some extent.
Yeah, it sort of depends on the thing. Like I have. Yeah, there's like been I don't have a lot of stories though. So, you know, I'm just not like a storytelling.
I have a ton of stories.
I think the way you process your memories is in like story format or something. Cause I don't like think back on my life and have like stories to tell, but I've had an eventful life, but I don't format them in my head that way. But yeah, go ahead. Just tell your story. I'm gonna go get ready for bed.
Your dad wanted to shoot apple off your head, but he hit your pet rabbit instead. He did one time, not that he didn't do that, but never mind. Okay, so this story is about the first time I intimidated a witness. So I was underage, so it doesn't matter if I tell the story. It's not that big of a deal. So I did tell the story one other time on here, but I've only told it one time. So, and it was a long time ago. So I'm sure a lot of you have not heard this. Some of you, maybe if you were following back then. So what happened was I didn't have my license yet. And well, let me back up. So my dad always raised me to protect my sister, like be very, very protective over my sister. And if I wasn't, then he would kick my ass like 100%. So it was without a question, I had no choice but to which I would have anyways. It's my sister, but I was very protective over because of that reason, and she knew it too. So I was getting into all kinds of fights. I was always doing shit for my sisters, but anyways, so I got a car. It was my first car, but I haven't got my license yet, right? And my sister has this car that she's selling to a friend of mine or something like that, or possibly going to buy it. And we were arguing about which one was faster, right? And mine had a 3.5 liter V6, nothing special. I think that one had a 3.2 liter or 3.8 liter or something like that. So very similar motors. And we decided to go drag race. So went down the road, went and drag raced. In the middle of the drag race, so we're drag racing, and I'm just getting past this part to get to the main part. But we drag raced, and I won the drag race, of course. Got to a stop sign after the race is over. The race is over. Like there's no more race. But my buddy, for some reason, like as I turned the corner, was thinking the race was still going or something, and I went to turn into a driveway to flip a bitch and turn around and go back. I don't have a license. I got to go back. I'm only out here to drag race. I'm not out here to cruise. So I go to turn into a driveway at the exact same time he tries to pass me. We hit. All right, we hit, go off into a ditch. Well, before that, some guy fucking seen us fly past this house drag racing and came and tried to chase us. So my sister, right, jumped in the driver's seat because there was an accident, right? There was an accident. So she's taking the heat from me because I don't have a license. So my sister is taking the heat from me, as she should, because I don't have a license and she does. So she jumps in the driver's seat and she leaves. Well, at that point, the guy, fuckhead, starts following her. Follows her to a place and calls the cops. Cops come and he's telling them all this shit and blah, blah, blah. Well, so I'm thinking like nothing's going to happen from it. There's no way dude's going to show up to court. As soon as he finds out who we are and our family and everything else, he's definitely not going to show up to court, right? And to find out, he did know who my family was and everything, but he did show up to court. So I was pissed off. And to me, I looked at it as an opportunity, or not an opportunity, a time when I had to defend my sister, right? I had to protect my sister. She was trying to back me up, right? So I needed to go and prevent him from going to court. So I got my fucking crew together. Most of them are dead now, so doesn't matter. Most of them. So I went and got some weapons together, right? And went and busted his shit up, and then took off, obviously. And the next day, right? I'm not gonna say too much about it, but went and fucked some shit up. And the next day, I'm basically staying by myself with my friends. Like we have our own, like basically a studio at the time. My uncle shows up like 7 a.m. I open up the door. He's sitting there with a smile on his face. What you boys doing? I'm like, nothing, man. And he's like, what were you doing last night? I said, nothing. No, you weren't out fucking busting shit up, or what, whatever he said. And I knew right then he knew. And I was just like I didn't say nothing. And he was like, get your shit together. He's like, they got your tire tracks. We got to get you out of town. So I guess they got my tire tracks because I was young. I was young. It was my first job. I never, I'd never fucking intimidated a witness before, so it wasn't like I was a specialist at it. But I must have left tire tracks on the side of the road or something like that. They got the prints, so now they were looking for me in my car because the guy suspected who it was. All right. Obviously. So I went and got my uncle took me, and I was like, well, let me go talk to my dad. And he's like, no, we ain't got time for that. He's like, they're fucking looking for you. We got to get you out of town right now. So they packed me up, sent me to a location for a couple months, and I changed tires and wore the tires in over the 2 months so that it didn't look like they were new tires or anything like that. And nothing wound up coming of it. So I got away with it. But then when I seen my dad, he goes, he sits me down. He's like, I forget exactly how he said it, but he's like, next time you're gonna go do this, he's like, why don't you come talk to me so I can tell you what to do? And then he sits there and tells me like some shit of like, this is how you should have went about this, son. And you know, straightened me out on how I should have handled, you know, intimidating the witness. But I didn't wind up getting caught though, thank God, because I would have gotten into some serious trouble for it. And yeah, they actually were trying to get me for a little bit, because even after that, you know, they didn't have any evidence or anything, so they really couldn't get me for it. And there was a couple what's it called, Crime Stoppers or whatever it was called, a couple times about it and shit. But anyways, how did he know? Because the guy, so the guy showed up at his house like in like an hour after I went and fucking busted shit up. Showed up at his house with a gun and all kinds of shit. And my uncle snapped off on him and told him he was lucky that my dad couldn't walk, because my dad was paralyzed. If you guys don't know, my dad was paralyzed. He's like, you're lucky his dad's paralyzed, otherwise he would have came and fucking paid you a visit himself. And the thing was that the guy knew my family. That's how he knew where to show up to. And that's why it was weird that he even showed up to court, because you would think that because he knew, and the small ties, you'd think he would have known better and wouldn't have showed up to court. It's crazy that he showed up to court. Like, I was like, anyways, but that's how, because he told him that well, they got his tire tracks, so they're going to be catching him. And that's why my uncle came and took care of me. No, not again. No, he didn't. he showed up that first time, but not the second time. But you know what? But no, the stupid thing was that you know, he's fucking messing with some punk ass kids. Like, why are you an adult messing with, as if you never drag raced before, you know, as if you weren't 16 before, you know? So, but yeah, to me though, it was like, I didn't have a choice. To me, it was like, my sister just defended me, and now there's a guy who's going to show up to court against her. I've got to stop this guy from showing up to court. So that was my mindset. And, so I went and tried taking care of business. But I think my dad's response to it was just hilarious though. Next time you're gonna go and do some shit like this, come see me first so I can fucking tell you how to go about it. Oh, my stories were bragging years ago. I'm ashamed of now. Well, he did once. He did once. Yeah, he did once. He definitely showed up once, so that was the point. But he didn't show up the second time. But the point was that he showed up though the first time. So, and yeah, fair enough. Then the pressure got laid on him. Yeah, I definitely so where I went to a I probably shouldn't say too much information, but I went to a campground. I went and hid out at a campground for a couple months. Because we had connections with the campground, and basically just lived it up for like 2 months, just chilling, campfires every night, fucking chilling with a badass camper too, like not like in a tent, like in a badass camper, surround sound system and all this shit. Was living it up big time. So I definitely had a good time during my hideout. But I still was worried though, like, so because I hurried up, got rid of the tires, switched the tires and everything else. But I was still worried that, like, when I came back, like, did I put enough traction on these tires? Like, if they roll me, are they gonna know these are brand new tires and still arrest me and all these other things? But I've been trying to learn how to hand sharpen lately. The little lift when you get to the tip is kicking my ass and I keep messing up the bevel. Okay, so lock your wrist. Lock your wrist and only use your elbow. So when you're sharpening, lock your wrist. Say, let's pretend this is a stone because I don't have a stone sitting here. So pretend this is a stone. You want to lock your wrist. Once you get your angle, lay your angle down, lock your wrist, and use your elbow to get to the tip. I'm not moving my wrist. That way you can lock your angle in. So, Jared, I feel that story brings back memories. I had to move out of town for a year because an FBI gang task force was locking down on us back in my gang life days. Damn. Yeah. I know we had a lot of different shit with different organizations too. We got raided by the ATF one time, and I recently had a family member raided, and other, a bunch of those. So, my knives are sharp except the tip. Yeah, you got to get the tip. The tip is definitely an area that can give you some trouble. But if you work at it long enough, you'll get better and better at it. But you have to lock your wrist and use your elbow, and don't lift too high. Don't lift too high. Just lift to where you see the tip get to the stone. And sometimes you'll think that it's not getting the tip, and it's not that you need to lift higher or do anything else. You just need to keep doing the same thing you're doing. The steel removal is working its way. So don't think like if it hasn't hit the tip in 2-3 swipes. Well, no, you need about 100 more. That's why. Don't pull the tip off your stone either. Yeah, definitely don't do that. Try to make sure, and don't make sure you don't roll your tip by lifting too high. You can definitely go like this and go too high and roll the tip because you're just going across the stone. You want to make sure it just hits it. Maurice likes coffee. He likes tea too. He likes you. And he likes me. I can tie my own shoes. That's good for you, man. Walking by that same apartment every day. Wow, that took me some nerve. Let me hear the story. I gotta find it. Who was it? Anthony? I don't see the story. Did they delete it or something? What's the difference between the beginning of a nursery rhyme and a Neeves story? A rhyme starts out, once upon a time. Neeves short starts out, you ain't going to believe this shit. That's a good one. Sharpening is an art. Yes, it is. It's therapeutic, though, man. You definitely want to think of it as a relaxing thing. Don't get aggravated. Don't go into it frustrated. Go into it with an empty mind. Be at peace. Put on a show. Put on a podcast or Neeves Knives. Put on some Neeves Knives. Put on some Neeves Knives sharpening content, especially the live ones because they last a long time. And just sit there. Sit there. Don't have no time limit. It's however long it takes. Don't think like, oh, I've been working on this stone and this side too long. I need to get to the next side, or I need to flip, or I need to go over to the next stone. Don't think like that. That's how you fuck your shit up. Just do it until. If it takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours. Let it be. If it takes 3 hours, let it be 3 hours. Do it in 2 sessions. It's okay. There's times I do that all the time. I literally do that all the time. There's times where like I'll be working, I'm like, damn, this first stone's taking a long time, like because of the reprofiling just took that long, and I'll be like, okay, I'll just take a break, and I'll finish it tomorrow or finish it in a couple hours. Been there, done that on cultivation charges, chopper flying around, and state boys knocking the door down. No fun. Yeah, been there. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have checkered pasts. I was on gang task force parole for 3 years, and it was crazy. Them folks are way different than other POs. That's old time though. Yeah, but it's kind of the beauty of things is that there are probably a lot of police or ex-police officers in here right now, and there's probably a lot of ex-convicts or current convicts. I don't know, but that's okay. This hobby can bring us together, and we can all have something in common. I know I've turned my life around like 100%. So I don't mind a lot of these things I wouldn't talk about if I wasn't on a straightened path, and everything I talk about, like, I know can't be held against me or anything like that. So I don't talk about things that is not either public record, or 2, I was underage, or 3, there's no way you can tie me to it, or 4, it's past the timeline of which they could do anything about it. But and they're not going to do something to somebody who is past that timeline and has changed their life around. Like, that'd be stupid. But not saying that they wouldn't come after you for a charge, like if it was serious enough. And that's why there's certain things I obviously wouldn't talk about, because I know better. But when my ex of 10 years left, she tried making up charges that could put me away for 15 years. That sucks, man. That's always a fear of every man. It's always a risk, And yeah, I've known some people that have lied about shit and gotten people locked up. I had a bitch lie to me about being pregnant, and I thought I knocked her up for a minute. I wound up catching her lying. I found the medication that she was taking in order to get pregnant, and I freaked out. I snapped off. I immediately drove her to the hospital and had her get tested. And the doctor actually pulled me to the side and was like, "Yeah, she hasn't been pregnant." Like, even because she tried to make it seem like that, oh, she lost it, and she was, and this and that. Doctor told me no, she has not been pregnant. So I figured out that she told me that she was pregnant, and then figured that she'd be able to get pregnant in the time of me thinking she was pregnant by taking this medicine that makes you, more susceptible to getting pregnant. And she tried to lock me in. And yeah. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bro, the same girl has a baby that could be mine right now. I've been fucking with my head like crazy. Check this out. The same girl that faked the pregnancy on me named the kid that she did wind up having way after we separated the same name that I chose for our baby that was a fake baby. That's crazy. Nah, man, you're good. Preach your stories. It could help someone. Got to remember where you came from. You know what to say and what not to say. Damn right. Damn right. No, I definitely know better. I'm a fucking veteran when it comes to this shit. You know how many times I've been in an interrogation room? Like, I couldn't even tell you how many times. If I tried to tell you how many times, I'd be lying, because I have no idea. There's been times I've been in an interrogation room multiple times in 1 week. Another 20 years, your conversations will be about your ailments. Damn right. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that my stories will eventually just be, the switch, and going from one lifestyle to another, and And, you know, I wouldn't mind even going back to my old neighborhood and trying to help some of the kids that are in the neighborhood that I know are going to go down, you know, bad paths, and not because of their family, but because of their environment. Um, and, you know, even to just help people, period. I think I would love to do that. I would love to help people get away from certain lifestyles, whether it's drugs, crime, um, and you know, because man, you know, to me, I never thought I could be anything else. And it wasn't that like I didn't think I had the potential. It's just that it wasn't on the table. Like it wasn't something that was even considered. Like I couldn't imagine being legit. Like not in a million years. Like as a child, I knew I wasn't going to be legit. With proper training and practicing, how long do you think it would take to open up shop and have confidence to touch other people's blades? I'm thinking of doing it. I like the therapeutic aspect. So if you take it seriously, it depends on if you're talking about freehand, I would say give yourself 2 years. If you have a fixed angle system, you could do it in 6 months. Now that's not saying that it'll take you 2 years to do a good job. If you were like with me, I was able to start taking, that's when I started opening up books, was after 2 years. That's why I'm saying that. So I got really good within 6 months. Within a year, I was great, but it took 2 years to be a pro. And it's just because there's no way you can sharpen, you know, even with me, I was sharpening 2-3 knives a day, every day. But all the different blade shapes, all the different grinds, all the different steels, all the different stones, so many soft steel, hard steel, shit steel, good steel, thick steel, thin steel. Like there's lots of variables. And you know, it just takes time, you know, to learn all, you know, granted, when you know how to sharpen one, you can sharpen them all to some extent, but there's going to be differences. There's going to be major differences. And also like things like that you might make mistakes on, like scratching choils or scratching thumb studs or scratching flipper tabs, things like that all plays a part that you need to do on your own knives to learn not to do, so you don't fuck somebody else's stuff up. But I would say within a week you're going to be able to somewhat get an edge. You'll be able to get an edge. Within 2 months you're going to have a good idea of how to get an edge. Within 6 months you're going to have pretty good results. Within a year you're going to be great. You're going to be really good. But it'll take, you know, it takes time to become a pro. And you want it to. You want it to take time. Love the journey, not the result. All right. The result is you become a professional sharpener, but the journey to becoming a professional sharpener is what you need and what's important. Just like with anything in life, the journey is what's going to be the most important part. That's where you're going to learn the most knowledge and be able to take on, you know, the world, so to speak. But if you don't go through the journey in every bit of it, then you're not going to be as good as others. It's definitely easy to fall back into those bad habits. The beard of doom, especially without good support and healthy habits, hobbies. Even then, sometimes it can be tempting. Yeah, 100%. It's very easy to fall back into temptations. You have to want to not. You have to want to be good. You have to have drive, and you have to. And yes, I think it's good for you to pick up good hobbies, healthy habits, even more important. So hobbies, habits, and your environment, the people you're around, the people that you surround yourself with. And if you have to be around people that are negative, just keep it far and in between. You don't have to do it every day. You know, if you have to see those people, right? Because you love them or their family or whatever, see them, you know, every now and then. You know, just don't be seeing them every single fucking day, and keep your habits healthy. Because if you make all your habits healthy, after about a year or two, it changes you, like your everything changes about you, your physical health, and you see the benefits of it. So now you get addicted to it. You get addicted to those healthy habits. So now you don't want to lose it. All right. You don't want to lose these great things that are happening because of you being healthy minded, healthy physically, healthy habits. So keeping up with those and being consistent is going to be the most important thing. I've never been to jail. I have been in the back of a cop car when I was a teen for smashing a girl's face into the ground for yanking my hair and biting me. Witness said she attacked me first. Right on. Right on. Thanks for the confidence with that answer. I need a hobby and a little money is never bad. You know, if you can get a fixed angle system and start a service, but if you're wanting to do a freehand, it's going to take some time. I've got settled in at the new place and I'm ready to get my channel up and running again. I ran out of knives, but I got some ideas. Any advice for anyone else that runs into this? Um, make friends in the community. They will be the ones that can take care of you to send you stuff, but you have to get creative. That's the thing. In the beginning, before companies are sending you stuff, and especially, you can't, even with the community sending you stuff, which is a lot, right? Which is a lot. Or it can be. I'm not gonna say it's a lot. It could be a lot. Depends on the friends you make. Anyways, my point is though, is that being creative is the most important part. Be creative. If you can take 5 knives and turn that into 20, 30 videos, that you're able to make more content. You don't need to make, say, one video on one knife and say, now I need another knife. Well, no, you can do lots of videos on that knife. You can mod it, you can sharpen it, you can do cut tests, you can do different tests. So you got to figure that out. And then when you get groups of knives, now you can do group content and you can switch them out, right? Which will give you more content, but that's what you got to do though. But you want to make friends so that people can send you stuff. Um, Usually it's better for them to reach out to you. So with me, I didn't reach out to anybody. Everybody reached out to me. But what I did was I refused to reach out to anybody and ask them for help for a long time. So the first like 6 months to a year, I didn't ask anybody for anything, but people did contact me and said, "Hey, if you'd like to check this out, I'll send it to you." And I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I'd love that." So, and people were sending me stuff left and right, and I was super blessed, super lucky. Some of the people are still around today that loaned me knives. It's literally gotten me to this point. And then I had people that gifted me lots of knives. Like even now, I couldn't tell you how many. I have a lot of knives, like a lot of knives. Like Mr. Amazing has given me like 26 high-end knives, literally high-end Shurogorovs, Rocksteads, Hinders, like 5 or 6 Hinders. This guy has done so much for my channel. So having support is very, very important, but you still have to have the creativity to be able to run it and operate it. Join says I use diamond with all my sharpening. Makes things much easier. I agree. I do use ceramic and stropping only for fine work. Yeah, I think diamonds is the best way to go, personally. I don't think there's anything wrong with natural stones or aluminum oxide stones. I just think you're going to have to do it on more simple steels. I think anytime, if you're in mid-grade and above, you can, don't get me wrong, you can use natural stones and aluminum oxide stones on mid-grade steels just fine. But personally, it just goes so much faster. Like if you just use diamonds, I use diamonds on everything. Not saying that I won't bust out one of mine because I have natural stones. I have aluminum oxide stones. And if I'm doing like a very simple or a carbon steel or something, yeah, I'll bust them out. But usually I just use diamonds. There you go. There you go, crispy critter. Yeah, angle blocks will definitely help you out a lot. I can do 3 videos minimum on one knife. Yeah, and over time you'll be able to figure out more. Especially when you have multiple or lots of knives, you know, if you have, 100 knives, right? Well, now you have lots of different groups of knives, right? You can do like your favorite button locks, your favorite frame locks, but you have to be honest though. You have to be honest. Like if they're your favorite, then say it. If they're not your favorite, don't say these are my favorite. Say these are great knives or something. That's what I do. It's hard for me to say favorite. So I'm replacing diamond plates, and I always heard Atomas nick the blade because of the staggered diamonds, but never tried them. Do you recommend Atoma over DMT? Yes, I do. Ultra sharp is if you're on a budget. Atomas are great. They're just very aggressive. The 140 is a stone that will reprofile extremely fast. It does break in though. So that same stone that will almost feel too aggressive at first will break in. You just have to use it. Once you start using it, after like 3 or 4 times you use it, it'll break in and it won't be as aggressive and it'll be a great stone to reprofile on. But no, Atomas are great. I would recommend Atomas over DMT, and then Ultra Sharp I recommend over DMT just because they're cheaper. But yeah, Atomas, they grind steel. They're fast cutters. That's the beauty of them. The beauty is that they're fast. They cut fast. See, Chuck, it says it right there. I hated sharpening until I got my Atoma 140. Exactly. The Atoma 140, man, it hogs metal. So you're able to take a knife that needs a reprofiling and do it in a reasonable amount of time. Because some of the steels, man, if you're trying to start on like a 400 grit stone, and you're reprofiling and you're taking chips or anything out, you're gonna be there for a fucking minute. The DMT 120 micron plates are great. Also, yeah, 120 grit. That's a very coarse grit. Yeah, that would be good too. What do you think about the CV Elemental fixed blade knife G10 handles 10 CR? I think it's good. I've tried it one time. The one I tried was I think the polished handle one. I think it was a little slick. Personally, I would scrub it up with some sandpaper, but yeah, it's a nice knife though. Gotta go. All right, Maurice, I'm about to go too. Or cocky behavior. You good people have a great night. Even my dick is bigger than yours. Well, thank you, Maurice, and I appreciate you letting us know. And I'm gonna take off too. Even 300 is a bitch to start. Yes, yes. 300 grit, if it's new, it's good. But a 300 grit that's broken in, because it depends on the brand too. Because I've had 300 grit from one brand that felt like a 600 grit, and then I've had 300 grit from other brands that felt like a 200 grit. So it does depend on what brand, but once they break in, they're not as aggressive as you would like. You want them more aggressive. But when you get them brand new, though, those fuckers will cut pretty fast. Like for the first like 10 to 20 sharpenings, they'll cut pretty quickly. What angled system should I get to learn on that will last me? KME, TS Prof. I have this system that I'm testing, but I haven't tested it yet, so I can't recommend it. But for $200, you can get a KME. That's a great way to start. If you have the money, I recommend getting the TS Prof Cadet Pro. Go into my links down in the description. Go to the Amazon store, or just go to the Amazon and search TS PROF Cadet KADET Pro, and it'll pop up. All right, guys. I'm gonna take off. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and all the donations tonight were amazing. Thank you guys so much. Maurice, thank you for the 100 bones. Everybody who donated $20, even people that donated $2 and $1, man. Thank you guys so much. It massively helps the channel. I'm able to do this because of all the support from you guys. So I do feel very blessed, and I'm very thankful to have you guys' support. I hope you guys know that I am very thankful to have all you guys' support. We don't have a Bang Gang members live tomorrow, so I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget, Mike Emler, go and subscribe to his channel. Show up on Wednesday so you can get in on this $1,600 giveaway. Multiple different prizes, about 600 prizes, $600 in prizes a piece, and that will be at 9:30 Central. So whatever time it is right now is about the time he's going to be live. Well, 15. This is about 15 minutes later than on Wednesday when he'll be live. Thank you, Irish Bomb Squad. There's some links to some ultra sharp diamond plates. I definitely recommend those. You just have to get a stone holder. All right, guys. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for all the likes. And if you haven't hit the like button, damn sure hit it before you leave. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Peace.